Logonator. It's a little bit.
Oh,
Hey,
okay.
that's me.
Aha. Oh, lurking. I see.
Mm-hmm.
Man, you went from lurking to like a full on call.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah, waiting on the shadows, in the
that's
shadows.
impressive.
Yep.
Okay, I'll quit cheesing here. Would you like to introduce yourself and just talk about like where you got into 3D and like how what your
Sure,
experience has been like and where you're at now,
sure.
like your
I'll try to
future,
be
all that jazz. It's
as
a lot of
brief. Yeah.
questions.
Yeah. So I started
Oh,
3D like 2 years
maybe I
ago.
can't hear you now.
You can hear me?
No, why can't I hear? Oh, wait a minute. It's because I'm muting. Two
Okay.
seconds. I muted you on my side, but the stream can hear you fine. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. So I started at 3D like 2 years ago. I finished my degree in design and development of video games and stuff, but I wanted to focus on 3D. So I did like a master, and yeah, I focused on environment because I always liked like those like level design, environment, art, and that stuff. So I went for it, and right now I'm just working on my portfolio, trying to get a job and stuff. And yeah, as brief as possible, that's my journey in 3D. 2 years.
2 years, dude, crazy. Oh, and you went from like this. I mean, I guess it's still kind of stylized when I look at the range of your work,
Hmm.
but it's super stylized in your first piece.
Yeah, I mean this the two first yeah, the first ones were academical, like for my master. One was
Hmm.
stylized, one was realistic. So yeah, that's the one and only I think working on stylized for me. I had to do it, so I did.
Yeah. Oh, right. So it was a requirement in that
Yeah,
sense. And then the
yeah.
Deadly Motel. Do you actually? So you want to do realistic?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
Dude, cool. Okay. Should we even? So do you want me to even look at these two?
I mean the Deadly Motel maybe. I think the worst thing is lighting, I guess.
Hmm.
But yeah, the stylized one is fine. If we don't look for it. Like,
Okay. Let's. Okay. So if I look at the motel scene, so this is UE4.
mm-hmm.
Um. So the ceiling doesn't look like it's textured. Actually, let's start with the modeling, and then we can move on to the composition and then materials. And
Mm-hmm.
so modeling wise, it does feel like everything is quite low. This is something I feel like I tell everyone is like, just more geo, just just add more. If you need more to sell the shape, then do
Mm-hmm.
it, because we can remove those in the LODs later. Um,
Sure.
so there's that aspect. The numbers on the door. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if I've ever seen that many numbers on a door before.
Oh yeah, I just tried to place them like I modeled all of them and then chose one for each door, but I just placed them all
Oh,
together right there.
oh, I see. I understand now.
It's not
I'm
room
like, dude, that's a
number
serious,
100.
that's a huge apartment complex.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I understand now.
But yeah.
Oh, this is interesting. Placing all of the, but yeah, okay. So, and then you got your reference as well.
Mhm.
I think I remember critiquing this.
I, I I don't know.
Maybe not. I
I
don't
don't
know.
think so. I
No,
wasn't around at that point. I think I don't. Maybe someone used the same concept.
possibly, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. So we have a lot of images for the props.
Hmm.
I think the individual breakdown of them, it could
Hmm.
probably be like two props next to each other, or like really make the image worth viewing the asset. So like for the chair, for example,
Hmm.
um, you could render two sides of it on one image here. That way you're seeing that like the door, it doesn't really make much sense. But like paintings, for example, those could both be in one image because you want to cut
Hmm.
down on the amount of scrolling that people are going to have to do to look at your assets.
Hmm. Sure.
Um, but yeah, when we look at the scene, I think poly count wise, it's quite low. The
Hmm.
door frames. This is something I see a lot when people are just getting into like making environments like this, where
Hmm.
the door looks like it's actually a painting, like it's placed on the wall, versus like the frame actually going into the wall, and then the door going further than the depth of the wall itself, if that makes sense. So you get a
Yeah.
lot more depth um, and believability
Mm-hmm.
with
Yeah,
that
definitely.
element.
I struggled a lot working on this. I mean, this was the second one working,
Mm.
and I didn't even know how to render. I knew a little bit of modeling, and just placing those was exactly what you explained. I felt like I was placing a draw on the wall.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
Exactly.
I mean, it's
But
pretty straightforward once you like once you figure out how like oh I'm just
mm,
gonna do this. You basically just cut a hole in the wall and
sure.
then push it in so that it's far enough in, and then the door will naturally go far enough back
Hmm.
in accordance with the frame itself. But let me see here. If we go down to the reference really fast, there's floorboards, but there's not on the ceiling, which is quite interesting. So they have
Hmm.
like I can't really tell if you have floorboards. I don't think you do in the back area here. So there's those elements that are like those details that no one really realizes that need to be there, or no one notices or realizes that they're there until they're not there, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. So you're
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
naturally like, oh, why does this room feel weird? I don't know why. One of the main things is things like how the floor and the walls connect to the ceiling,
Okay.
and just
Yeah.
how everything connects together. So it's the same that was kind of with the door frame, right? So like, how's the
Hmm.
ceiling touch the wall? How does the wall touch the floor? What does that contact look like? And
Yeah.
getting away from a simple contact point is how you start to step away from it looking like 3D and looking more realistic.
Hmm.
Um, but
Yeah.
I think
I
that's
agree with
mainly the yeah.
everything.
Okay.
Definitely.
Um, yeah. So
I
it's
just,
the
I
model.
just,
Yeah. Go ahead.
sorry. I don't know if I should keep this one because I feel like these two, the stylus one and this one, are like the first things I did.
Hmm.
But I know they quality talking, they're so far from what I expect to do or what I try to do. So I don't know if I should keep them to show my progress or just
Right.
remove them and keep the good ones. If
I mean, so did you say did you finish school already?
yeah,
Okay. And then you're just kind of continuing on because your work as we go further down is gonna looks much higher in quality.
I hope so. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's hmm,
I mean, you could. I would say at least remove the very first one.
hmm,
Definitely the Deadly Motel. I think if you just stuck to these four, you'd be in a good spot. Like I
hmm,
don't think you need to keep these. You don't
hmm,
have to necessarily delete them though, right? Like if you want to keep them for your own self, you
hmm,
can either put them in a blog or just unpublish them so they're not public, but they're still on your art station for you, right?
sure,
Um,
okay, hmm,
but yeah, I mean, I think your portfolio definitely would look stronger if it was just these four.
okay,
Um,
that's what. Perfect,
let me,
thank you.
yeah, let me see what else we're. It looks like you've got chromatic aberration on.
Yeah, I tried to place an strange effect,
It's so
but
fun.
I
I
don't know.
almost never use it.
Yeah, I wouldn't use it now, but I just thought it was a good idea. I don't know.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh, let's see what else we're looking at here. I think the only other things I would say is like, so lighting wise, you can see with when you put lighting on only. So this is like detailed lighting.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty easy to see things.
Mm-hmm.
But when you get the materials on, it becomes much harder to visualize what you're looking at, and a
Hmm.
lot of the color of the lights seems like it's changing as well, just because of the surfaces that it's touching. Um,
Yeah.
so this tells me that without, even though I can't see like an albedo only, it looks like your albedos are too dark
Okay.
in certain. It's weird because when I look at the assets on their own, they don't look too dark to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
I mean,
maybe it's just a rendering issue with
it might be. Yeah,
yeah.
it can be. I
But
just
you
don't
were
know.
saying this is a pretty old
Yeah.
one now, so we can move on and look at some of the other stuff and
Sure.
expand
Sure
from
thing.
there.
Sure thing.
So the ritual scene. Do you want to talk about this one a bit?
Yeah. 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 Sure. I mean, the only thing made by me. right here is the dagger. So when I went into the internship, they told me if you have a prop down, just try to make a composition in order to place it on your portfolio, so it can be a little more attractive for the people watching it. So that's what I did. I just made a dagger and grabbed some Quixel assets and made a scene to show it.
Nice. Yeah, and to see like
Hmm.
I'm just reading the details here. So it's
Mhm.
just, I guess just making sure that you highlight if you're using Quixel and or whatnot, just put it in the software used, and
Mhm.
that should answer a lot of the questions for some people.
Okay,
Um,
I missed that maybe. Yeah.
it's I can understand that can be easy to miss as well, especially when you're like, oh God, I'm gonna post it.
No, no.
Um,
Yeah. I usually I did it on the next one because I used
yeah,
Quixel on the next, but I just didn't do it. I'll do it later.
is the so with the roughness on materials, is the blood supposed to be dry or pretty fresh?
Dry.
Dry, okay,
I think so. Yeah. I mean, I just tried to show like the some riddle happened here, but in the past, like
okay.
and
Because I think even the blood on the table would be dark,
yeah.
like on the floor,
Mhm.
because you get a little bit of like a lightning effect on the edge.
Mhm. Yeah. I don't know. Well, maybe I was trying to highlight the blood because dark wood and maybe dry blood wouldn't like pop up. I just
Mm.
tried to do that, but yeah, it kind of feels unrealistic. I think
Yeah, it
as you
feels more like a decal or paint, right?
mentioned. Yeah.
Because I think the blood that's splattered on the wood, it's probably could look just like that, and you'd be golden.
Mhm.
Like the outside edge is darker, and then the inner area of the splatter looks like it's a little lighter.
Mhm.
If you did that, where the outside edge is darker, and then the inner areas of the oh man, the star, I can't even remember the name of it, but
Mhm.
if it matched what the blood splatters were doing, then it'd probably look pretty natural.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
cool. Yeah. So you worked on this dagger. Is there more renders of it
No,
textured
only
on
this
its
one.
own?
No, I just placed this one.
Okay.
Mm.
Because this frame is actually really large.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's like if it would benefit from making sure that it can fit inside of, so that you end up seeing the whole dagger. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's like expanded. I don't know. You have the option when you place images in ArtStation, like
Yeah.
you can
Yeah.
have
The
it.
full width.
So I think it's full width. Like I checked that.
Hmm.
Maybe that's why it's so big.
Let's see
But
here.
yeah.
Yeah. I think the so all of this looks really cool, and I like the ideas and the way that you're presenting your work.
Mhm.
I think the thing that would push your work further is materials,
Yeah.
because at least in that one the modeling was higher resolution,
Mhm.
or at least it looked higher res than your first scenes.
Mhm.
Um, and the fact that you have it against other assets and it's kind of blending in together is a good sign.
Nice.
But
Nice.
yeah,
Nice.
no, this is cool. I don't know if you need this scene or this shot with the axe. Maybe if it
Oh.
was showing the table,
Mhm.
so that you have context of like where this is in context to the scenes you were just looking at with the top of the table,
Mhm.
that could help. But
Well, I think the X is shown right on the
mm-hmm.
left bottom on the first shot.
Oh yeah, oh man, I didn't even see that.
Yeah, it's hiding a little bit, but yeah, just place it just to tell a story. Like
Mm.
the ritual happened there with the axe and the daggers on the table, just to I don't know, do some other stuff that ritual people does. I don't know, and yeah, but yeah, I would remove it, like as you mentioned, maybe
Right.
just to focus on the dagger. Yeah.
Yeah, I think if you had like the kind of angled view where you can see a little bit of the table and then all of the stuff on the table, and you
Mm-hmm.
fix the blood pattern
Mm-hmm.
on top of the table, this would increase in quality by quite a bit.
Nice. Thank you.
super cool. Yeah, let's look at the next one.
Hmm.
So this one is UE5 Motel Road sign.
Hmm.
Would you like to talk about this one? Then we can kind of go into it.
We can move on. I mean, it's the same, just working on a hero prop, if you can say
Yeah.
it, and placing it around with Quixel assets.
Okay.
I just try to go like mixing stylized Borderland stuff with the outline of the things, and just mixing with realistic materials, but it didn't. Well, I
Yeah,
like
you
some
don't feel like it
things.
was working.
Yeah, but
So I feel like the main thing that I would highlight is so there's two. So the paint is really simple, right? But
hmm
then the damage is very evenly placed, like the distances between them.
hmm
And then the foliage or like the little grass. These are mega scans, right?
yeah,
Or yeah. So the scale of them is quite large. So it's hard to understand like what the size of everything is, or like if I was to stand next to it, everything's just kind of skewed in scale. If that
hmm
makes sense. So
yeah,
the tire is maybe the most relatable thing, and then the other relatable thing is maybe the size of the road,
hmm
and then everything else feels like it's kind of strange. Like the road even feels a little narrow. So there's all of those little things to be thinking about. Scale's a really big deal.
okay,
Um, but yeah, cool. Yeah, you were saying we could move on. You just wanted to.
sure, yeah,
You don't really feel like
yeah.
you're like no. We don't
Nah,
have to look at that one.
nah, this one, it's
Um,
fine.
okay, so we got War Axe.
Hmm.
Oh, you sculpted this one as well.
Yeah,
Okay, do you want to describe what was going on with this one?
I tried to recreate the concept that it's in the description. As you can see, it went far away from the concept. So I just and my biggest issue doing this was the leather for the handling. Like
Hmm.
they're just cylinders textured with some leather material. And yeah, I just practiced some sculpting with this one. I just wanted to go with a small thing and cover iron, stone, and some wood. So it
Right, so
made
you're
the
just trying to touch all materials.
yeah.
Is there? It would be nice if you also had like the your textures,
Hmm.
just so that we can see where you're, like how you're thinking about and how you're using the metalness map, where your roughness range is per material, because that really shows like how someone understands PBR and where it becomes really easy to feedback and give critique on like any of the like
Hmm.
where things are at. Like this doesn't actually feel like metal to me, but I'm not sure why. I'm assuming it's because the metalness is not. Is there metalness on that?
I think so, but it might be like not correct.
Well, I mean,
Let's see.
if it's white, then it's metal, right? And if it's black, it's not.
Hmm.
But if the roughness is high enough, maybe it'll start to look more like stone.
Hmm. I see what you mean. Yeah.
Because the difference between the metal and the I mean, is the edge of the axe stone or is that metal?
Yeah, the edge is stone,
Okay.
and the other two pieces are metal. The ones that connect with the wood are metal,
Yeah.
and the border is stone.
Okay. And I see what you're talking about with the leather straps.
Mm. Yeah.
That stuff is a little bit. It can be a bit annoying. I
Mm.
One thing I would suggest doing is so you could um, take the shape of the original blade or
Mhm.
handle, I should say, and then you can do loop cuts through it, and then turn those into bands. And as long as you have a few of them going under each other, and they feel
Mm.
flatter than round, um, as long as there's a couple of them that go under each other, your brain will kind of fill in the blanks, and you'll be like, oh yeah, this is just wrapped up
Mhm.
leather. Um, but I
Yeah.
guess it depends if you want it braided or if you want just like really simple wraps.
Mhm. I just didn't know how to do it. I made like the most easy thing that came to my mind, and maybe the worst in quality.
Well, I mean,
But
that's how you learn, though, right? You just go
yeah,
for it. It's
that's
it's
just.
good that you committed and finished.
Hmm. And I made this shot like some plans, some stuff from Quixel, and just made the composition for to show it. That's it.
Yeah, and I think again, like you can tell the difference between like the Quixel assets and then
Hmm.
the prop that you had made. It's like
Hmm.
really trying to get those to have parity between them. Um, I think maybe detail normals might help with like trying to bring the
Hmm.
noise level together between the two, so that you have your baked normals, but then you also have like the extra detail of like a tileable normal on top. Um,
Okay.
but
Okay.
yeah, and then I mean, feel free to take the assets that you grab from Quixel, and like if you need to, you lower the saturation on them and try and like if you go into color or like unlit view and just look
Hmm.
at the colors, you'll start to see how separated things can be from each other. And you try and unify them so that they feel like they're in a similar palette. That'll help a lot for like integrating your prop.
Okay. Yeah, I
Chat
get it.
was also saying, where was that at? Um, damage. No, where is it? It could be so Vince was saying it could be a lighting issue that
Hmm.
that we're reading the metal a little differently.
Hmm.
So really, under I guess figuring out how you want to frame the prop and getting the lighting to focus on that. Like, is
Hmm.
the fog green?
Yeah, I tried. I
Yeah,
tried to make like a swarm,
yeah,
but like filling this green on the fog and stuff, but
hmm
didn't get it. Maybe.
yeah. I wonder if like so if the fog is if you give well, I guess the goal is to focus on the axe, right?
Hmm.
So if the fog um, is more saturated than the axe, you'll tend to look at it, right? I think if
Yeah.
you really want us to focus on the axe, maybe the fog could be cooler or like a blue and
Hmm.
darker. So like things getting further away from the axe just start to go into a darker atmosphere or darker fog.
Okay.
That would probably give you some better separation because you are getting some separation with the stump and then
Hmm.
the axe and the elements behind it are separated. It's just harder to read the overall picture.
Okay.
Yeah, vignetting could do it as well. Definitely, like an
Hmm.
easy fix. Just Instagram it, man.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was thinking some filters and yeah.
That's so funny. But yeah, the giant throne, I guess
Yeah.
this is your most recent. This is 2 months ago. This
Yeah.
one's pretty sick, man.
Thanks. Thanks. Thanks.
It's definitely like the quality has gone up from your previous stuff.
Hmm.
And yes, you've got God Rays. Noble approves in chat. Uh, but did you want to talk about this one,
Yeah.
and then I could
Yeah. Of
go into
course.
it?
Sure. Let's go. I mean, what's the worst thing that you see on this scene? If you can choose one, what would you say?
Um, hmm.
The character and the stuff is not mine. I just picked just to as I try to tell a story. Like some Viking was finding the giant throne. That's
Yeah.
not mine. I just did the all of the other stuff.
So wait, so the character isn't yours,
No,
and what else, or is it just the character?
just the character. Just the
Okay.
character.
So you made the torch.
Yes,
Okay.
I think
So
so.
I think
Hmm.
I think the hmm. So the character, when you do a character, even if you don't make it, making sure
Hmm.
that it fits the scene and scale wise feels good. Right now, it feels like the character might feel a little short
Hmm.
in scale. Of course, it's the throne's going to be huge, right, by
Hmm.
comparison. Um, but the throne or the scale of the character feels odd for everything else. I guess. I think maybe you need props that help ground the scale a little bit more. Like if there
Hmm.
was a throne here, and then there's a few pots that are just kind of like in the snow. kind of lost to the snow, it could help us understand how big or small things are. Um,
Okay.
but I think for me, maybe the weakest thing that the character throws me off a bit, but
Mhm.
I like the idea of putting the character there. It just needs to. It needs maybe a secondary light so the shadows aren't so dark.
Mhm.
Um, but I think the thing that bugs me the most is a very environment art thing. It's just seeing how stuff connects, like where the snow meets the pillars. The
Mhm.
snow in the shadows is strangely dark down below.
Mhm.
Uh, and getting snow in like the crevices between the tiles and just how everything kind of connects together. Uh, See this
Okay.
shot though. This shot actually I think looks stronger than this one.
Mhm.
There's if you did this shot, I would do this without the character,
Okay.
and then I would do this one with the character because the character looks fine here,
Mhm.
which is which is quite interesting. Now I'm realizing the character doesn't feel so short as it did. Is I guess
Yeah.
because the camera's lower, right?
Hmm.
Um,
It is almost on the ground. Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, this is cool too. But maybe the surface detail that you've got going on in the stone is very
Mhm.
uniform.
Mhm.
Um, if you think about the stone, like where it could smooth, like over time, and
Mhm.
where it would continue to be rough. So maybe there's areas where like it's softened up because of where water always happens, or like from whoever used to sit there so long ago. Like it just
Mhm.
you know how like stone when you walk on it a lot, it can kind of
Yeah.
soften itself up.
Right. I didn't thought. I mean, I didn't think about someone sitting on it. And you're right. Definitely, it would be like a
Mm.
little bit not that uniform as you said. Yeah. Definitely.
I
Hmm.
wonder if Bray in chat said the balance of the colors in the second shot
Mhm.
and the nice mix of cool and warm. That's definitely helping this a whole lot. And also the background is not competing as much for attention as it is in the top image.
Mhm.
Like if the area on this side over here was just a little bit darker, then it
Mhm.
would really be focused on the throne. Whereas in this shot, everything is so focused on the throne and the character, and you have
Mhm.
a nice balance of the cool and the warm, like Bray was saying. Yeah, Vince also agrees that the character feels a little goofy. We're not sure what. I'm not.
Yeah.
Is it rigged? And you can like move the.
Yeah.
the
It was.
yeah,
I just made this pose from the
cool.
rig that was already done, and just yeah.
Oh, this is nice too with the. So in the sculpts, I would say be careful with like areas getting too dark because people will
Mhm.
want to see like how it was
Okay.
how you detailed out the certain areas.
Mhm.
Let's see here. Yeah, these are cool though. And you could see as well the a lot of the detail in your sculpt comes through in your render.
Mhm.
But I think the detail normal that you have because this is a detail normal, right? That's tiled on there.
Yeah.
I think if
Sure.
you halved the strength of it, it would actually blend better and show more of your sculpting.
Okay.
This
Mhm.
so this sounds kind of crazy, but like if you were able to paint a mask that takes these chipped areas and in the chipped damaged areas the mask was let's say like white
I. I.
and then the rest is kind of a little bit darker, you could use
Mhm.
that as a mask to control the strength of the normal, the detail normal. And
Mhm.
so the detail normal could get really kind of crunchy in the damaged areas, but on the flat surfaces it could be a lot smoother.
Okay. Yeah.
You get a
I see what
lot
you mean.
more like fidelity out of that. Yeah.
Mhm. Definitely.
Let's see what the did you have any questions for me? Because I'm realizing we already are at 30 minutes.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
No. I mean, that was it. That was the most important question was about the two. What I asked you about the first two ones we
Hmm.
talked about. about removing them, and that's it. That's it. Yeah.
So yeah, so I guess I would remove these two and then just make the blood adjustments we were talking about here. If you're
Mm-hmm.
not comfortable or if you don't like this one, don't hesitate to remove. It's totally okay to just have these three.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And so, if
yeah.
I can, one question. I'm working on a new environment. Should I wait until it's finished to upload something and just upload what I have and what I keep
Oh, you
doing?
mean on here? I mean, you
Yeah.
could do it in the blog and
Okay.
then use the blog posts or like just like posting it in Discord and posting it in communities and getting
Mm-hmm.
feedback on that stuff. That's that's a really good way to get people to look at your art station because then they
Okay.
become curious of like, oh, this is looking cool. What else does this person have on their,
Mm-hmm.
on their portfolio? Do you have? Let me see on your. So you might need to pay for Discord for this to work, but you can also put your ArtStation link in your profile.
Oh,
But
I didn't know it.
I don't know if
I'll
that's
look for
you have to pay or not for that. But yeah, it's just that's the social aspects of trying to like connect everything so that
it. Mm-hmm.
people are like, oh, I can see this person's portfolio. Oh, Bray says in chat, you don't need to pay. It's for free.
Oh,
So you
cool.
can put your ArtStation link in your yeah. It's dude, it's a great way to it's I've gotten so used to it where like when someone joins, I click on
Mm-hmm.
their profile and just see if they've got a link to their art station just out of curiosity.
I get it. Okay. So that's it. I don't want to take more time from the next person. Thank you so much for this.
Yeah, dude, your
For the,
work is getting much better,
thanks.
especially in the small amount of time you've been working on this stuff.
Thank you. Thank you.
But cool. Yeah, if you have any questions, just poke me on Discord. It can be a DM. It's totally fine.
Thank you. Thank you
And
for your time.
yeah, no problem, man.
Thanks so much.
I'll talk to you later.
And yeah, see you.
All right, bye.